yourself? It's Mac. I'm happy to be here. Today I'm filming live from Allie Bross's childhood bedroom. We got kind of a wonky setup today. I've got a basket that had one cowboy hat and one winter coat in it, balanced on top of a suitcase that I was unable to get closed. So we're a little bit lopsided today, but that's okay. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it the same as we always do. We're always kind of a little bit, I'm not so sure what's going on, and that's okay. That's pretty much me summed up. This past episode, one of the best. Thought it was one of the best episodes. I thought it was so cool. However, completely lost the plot of the show. The point of the show is, where the heck are we, or where the X are we, or whatever that catchphrase was, which, by the way, was never once said to us while we were filming ever at all. Or we probably would have been saying it all the time in like a sarcastic way, dude. Where the X are we? I've got no idea. We would have been saying, so it's probably good that they never said that catchphrase to us, but nevertheless, it was never said to us. But yeah, this episode, they knew where they were. What bus? They were never on it. Didn't see a bus. Saw a couple boats. Didn't see any buses. Completely lost the plot of the show. Nevertheless, fantastic. Thought it was a fantastic episode. I thought it was so interesting. I thought it was so cool and so well done. And having not been there, like I knew generally what happened. Like Allie told me that she was the one to be eliminated this episode, and it had something to do with tarot cards. Um, but and like she picked the wrong one, but didn't have the choice to pick the wrong one, and there were some daggers and people putting daggers in each other's back. So like I knew the up here going into that episode, didn't know the down here. Did not know the details. Knew the trees, didn't know the whatever the other half of that metaphor is. The weeds, the roots, the saplings. I don't know, didn't know 'em. Those guys. Knew the big guys, didn't know the little guys. That's the point of that. I thought it was so interesting. I thought it was so crazy. It was also visually so appealing. Like I feel like the night shoot was really pretty, especially in Venice. Like Venice kind of has a spooky vibe. I hate Venice. We won't do that again. I won't get back into that. Um, but I thought this was the best Venice that ever looked. Thought it was beautiful. I thought it was super cool. Everybody in their suit and or beautiful orange dress looked fantastic. I thought it was really cool. But I do have some things to say. Biggie. My God. It's funny because this is like another situation where Peter kind of gets all the credit for making moves to get um people out, to get people eliminated. But if you take, one step back, it's kind of Biggie who's doing it. And what's worse is I don't know. For my elimination, I don't think Biggie intended to get me out. I don't think it was his intention to cause a tie that may or may not end with me getting out. I don't think that was his goal. With Allie in this situation, again, I don't think it was his goal. I'm actually really confused as to why he did it, and we'll get into that here in about 30 seconds, I'm sure. But it was another one where it's like, well, if he just didn't do that, um, then Peter wouldn't have had the opportunity to get somebody else. So Peter's looking fantastic. Really, Peter just keeps stumbling into getting lucky to having power to get people out. He didn't do anything right necessarily. He was just kind of right place, right time situation. But here's what I'm really confused about, okay? And I know that there's a lot that's not shown on these episodes, but even with what I do know, and even with what was shown, we have Biggie in this alliance with Shane and Allie, and then we have Rick and Peter kind of on their own, right? So in a sense, it's 2 against 3. Then you see Rick and but nevertheless, Biggie seems to have always had a soft spot for Rick, and I get it. He seems like a sweet guy on the show. He's got this sob story on the show. He's saying these things makes you want to help him out. Blah 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 blah. It works on Biggie. He's got a soft spot for Rick. Okay, that's fine. I get it. But then you see Rick and Peter calling Biggie over and saying, "Hey man, look, you're number 3 over there. Why don't you come and join us and we'll help you out?" And here's the thing, you'd still be number 3. I don't understand that argument. And in fact, I mean, I don't know if there was a whole half speech cut out. Obviously, I wasn't there. Um, would love to ask Biggie about it. Would love to talk about it, to kind of maybe try to understand that thought process. But that didn't make any sense to me. You're in theory number 3 with Shane and Allie. Of course, they're gonna pick each other over you for sure. But you don't think Rick and Peter are gonna do the same? They've been working together longer. They've had this alliance for longer. You think now both of them are gonna put you at number 1 or number 2? I guess second to themselves. That just didn't make sense to me. you're number three in both situations, so why would you switch up? And then the other thing is, and absolutely no disrespect to Shane or Allie, Biggie probably had a stronger shot against both of them. Had it been down to the final three, I like my odds with for Biggie against the two of them more so than against Rick or Peter. He could take Peter. He could take Peter. He could for sure take Shane. I think the Biggie Alley would be harder, but I think Biggie probably studied quite a bit more. It would obviously depend on the situation. I have no idea what's in the finale. Um, but like Biggie versus Rick, I don't like those odds. And as a betting boy, I would have thought he wouldn't have liked those odds either. I don't know. So it just didn't make sense to me. You would think that Biggie would want to use his numbers with Shane and Allie to try to get Rick out. Once Rick is out, Peter doesn't know anything. He was able to identify Italy. I'll give him that. I'll give him that. It's the only thing he's been able to do. Um, but then chances are the next location, they're not going to have 4 episodes in Italy, I would assume. I could be wrong, but I would assume that. Um, then you'll get Peter, the three of you against one Peter who has fully ridden the coattails of Rick. You'll be able to get him out. Then it's you against Shane and Allie. And again, no disrespect to Shane and Allie, but I think he's got that in the bag. I just didn't understand the thought process. That didn't make any sense why you'd want to switch up, why you'd even be questioning switching up. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. I really would love to get it. I really would love to understand. But yeah, he placed a dagger. I think he did one Pete, one Shane, one Allie. Why are you not loading up Rick? It is well known that Rick is the strongest, biggest threat there. Why is everybody not loading up Rick? I don't know. It just didn't make sense to me. To put one on Allie, to put one on Shane, on Peter. I think Shane and Allie both did what? They both did two on Rick, one on Peter. So Rick's got four. Peter's got two. All Biggie had to do was one on Rick, two on Peter, and then those two for sure would have been in the Garden of Lost Souls or whatever it's called. Sure, Rick and Peter, I think they could have loaded up. One of them could have put all three on Shane or Allie. And, there was a chance that it could have been a Shane or Allie against Rick or Peter. But like, why not try to give yourself the best shot? I don't know. It just didn't make sense. But then yeah, so now it's time to place daggers. Biggie's got all of this in his head and chooses to put one dagger on each of three people, essentially putting no daggers on anybody, basically is what that is, because it's a numbers game and you spread your numbers evenly. I guess all you did was help Rick out, which would be the one person I would think you don't want to help out. I just didn't make any, and they were in alliance for so many episodes. To put one on Allie, I kind of understand, I guess. Not really. Maybe you didn't trust her, and maybe Shane was your boy. But why put one on Shane? I think he posted something in his story that said Shane asked him to put one dagger on him being Shane, so that he would have the opportunity to save Allie. But why put yourself in this position where somebody even needs to be saved? Like, did Shane and Allie, or did Shane think that he and Allie were both going to be in the Garden of Lost Souls, and then Shane was going to then sacrifice himself? Like, that almost requires too many things to go right for that to even be a consideration. Like, you don't even have to get there if you just load Rick and Peter up on daggers in the first place. I don't know. I didn't understand the strategy at all. It didn't make any sense to me. Even with that explanation, and then I don't know, like, Allie hadn't done anything wrong, and I would think, again, I would think he would prefer to go against Shane and Allie in later episodes when they are placing their ex, rather than what is going to kind of be a game of trivia, kind of be sort of a game of chance in a loose sense. It's kind of what it turned out to be, ish, I guess. Um, but I don't know, I just didn't understand it. Then the tarot cards, man, that's such a bummer. Such a bummer. Another situation of like somebody going home not because they knew the wrong thing, but because a lot of things went right for Peter and he happened to get some power. Very impressive that all of them got all of those correct. Like, I imagine that's not what the producers intended. I imagine they didn't intend for it to come down to um, Peter once again basically being able to sort of indirectly dictate who gets to go home. Risky call because it sounded like Rick kind of sort of didn't know that the Raven Tower. I didn't know the Raven Tower. That was the one. I think that was the one I didn't know. I'm trying to remember. There are a bunch I would have guessed. Oh, Eternal City. I didn't know that that was Rome. Was that Rome? I didn't know that one. Um, but Emerald Isle I would have known as Ireland, and there's not a lot of things in Europe that are further away from Venice than Ireland, so I think that would have kind of been the safe bet. But nevertheless, a little bit risky. I get why he did it. I get why he did it. He was putting his faith in Rick. But still, I don't know. Such a bummer. It was like once again, like, Biggie, what are you doing? Like, you could have had this kind of in the bag moving. If you get rid of Rick, like, imagine had this been, I don't know, a situation where it was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then Rick ended up going home. You'd have been smooth sailing to the end, and maybe he is still smooth sailing to the end. I don't really know what goes on after this, but I don't know. I just didn't understand it at all. Would love to hear him. Hoping to get him under the covers with Allie so we can get to the bottom of it. Just because I'm confused on what the thought process was there. Mostly why he thought he wouldn't be number three with them, because I think that's kind of where it all began. Maybe, again, I'm sure there was a lot cut out that I just don't understand. But nevertheless, that was really confusing to me. But nevertheless, I thought this was a really, really cool episode, really well done, really interesting. What sucks now is it's all guys. That's what a nightmare. I don't want to, I mean, I'm going to watch it, obviously, but like, I don't know. I came onto the show and I was talking to Allie, and I might have been talking to somebody else. And I said, I don't care who wins this game as long as it's a girl. It doesn't even have to be me. I just want this to be a girls' game. Initially, we were like, we want all girls in the finals, right? And we crushed from the start, right? We got two guys out back to back. And us girls, we were like, it's over. Like, we're going to get five guys out real quick, and then it's us. Cut to the next six people out are girls. That's tough. That's really unfortunate. We just couldn't stick together, I guess. Actually, I don't really know if that's the problem. Actually, I really think Biggie was the problem. I think we were all trusting Biggie, and what's worse is I don't think he was trying to get any of us out. I think he was just not thinking, not realize. I don't know, not realizing that Rick and Pete were working together, even though they're sneaking off to the other side of the bus constantly to talk to each other. What do you think they're talking about? They're not just getting to know each other. I don't know. I don't know, whatever. I mean, it's over. It's just a game, so who really cares? I don't hold any of this against anybody. Like, we all had a great time. We're all great friends. Love Biggie. Who cares? We're all buddies. But I am confused. And I do think all guys, you could see kind of, especially at the episode before this, all the guys were getting really amped up and really hated that. Hated watching that. And I have a hunch that's what these next couple of episodes are going to be. I think they're going to be a lot of testosterone. As Ali said, it's going to get weird in there. Those were great lines. She had a lot of really banger one-liners this episode. But yeah, cool episode. Sad to see her go. A cool way to go. Super spooky with the plague doctor. And she's the only one who didn't get to, go have a little chat with Jeffrey, which is funny thinking back to episode one, because she was the one who was most amped about Jeffrey being there, and she didn't get her time with him. She jokes that he was like, I can't, I can't have the conversation with her. Like, she has too big of a crush on me. So we've got to figure out how to do it. That's not what happened, I don't think, but it is funny to think about that way. But yeah, kind of a bummer for her. She didn't get a false promise from him of some sort of alcohol or anything else that he promised a lot of other people. I actually don't think he promised me anything. Cause yeah, I think he was like, oh, let's go get a beer, or let's go to a coffee shop, with a couple of other people. I can't remember what all the other ones were, but it doesn't matter. Now I'm just kind of rambling. Anyway, at the end of the last episode of Happy to Be Here, I said be sure to come watch this episode of Happy to Be Here because I would have some big, interesting, exciting news to talk about. And now is the time to talk about that big, new, exciting news. And I'm so happy and excited and to like finally be able to talk about it and finally like have all this out in the open. But the news is I'm dating Allie. I'm so happy. She's been my girlfriend for almost 6 months. Almost 6 months. I asked her to be my girlfriend in January 25th, in case anybody's wondering the specific details. I did ask her to be my girlfriend in a Home Depot parking lot. You might be thinking, Meg, that's not very romantic. And you're right, and it's because I got very nervous. Really, what happened was she was in Florida, and I was flying out to Florida to see her, because we were gonna drive a car back from Florida to Texas. Those details don't matter at all, but I was flying into Florida to meet her to drive her back to Texas. And her favorite flowers are lilies. And I wanted to bring her lilies, but I was like, they'll probably get pretty toasted on the plane. Also, I had like a weird 12-hour layover in LA because I'm cheap and didn't want to buy direct. So I had like a 16 or 18-hour flight pattern, and I was like, it's gonna be really tough to keep these flowers watered, so I'm not gonna bring her flowers. But instead I learned origami real quick, and I origamied her some lilies. And so I showed up with a lily bouquet, and my plan was to like give her the flowers, say something cute and sweet or something like that, and then ask her to be my girlfriend, all within that exchange. But I got nervous, so instead I was just like, okay, let's move on. And then like an hour later, I was like, stupid, stupid, stupid. You gotta ask her. You gotta ask her. And then at that point, we were just sitting in a Home Depot parking lot, um, which again isn't romantic, but I believe it is symbolic. Why were we in a Home Depot parking lot? Like it just felt like the stars aligned. So dropped the cue there. She said yes. And guys, I can't even put into words how happy I am. Like, I talked a couple Happy to Be Here episodes ago on my elimination about how, like, now I have emotions. And I've always been so afraid of, like, letting people in because I was afraid I would get hurt. And while I think I was still happy during all of that, like, because there is some level of happy knowing that nobody can hurt you. There's so much more out there being vulnerable and like opening myself up to vulnerability like with somebody who I trust and like letting them show up every day to love me the best. Nothing's been better. I These have been like the happiest 6 months of my life. Multiple people have been like, "Holy cow, Mag! Like I've never seen you smile so much. Like you just like people have said I'm glowing. That's so nice." Just from how happy it's crazy. I don't even. I'm stuttering, searching for words to describe like how happy I really feel like, because I haven't dated much, right? Like I've dated a couple guys here and there, and it was always kind of weird. No disrespect to those guys. I'm sure they were great people. I think I'm just not into guys or something. I don't know. But like, I would date them, and at first I would kind of have a little crush on them, and then it would just kind of be like, oh, we're just best friends, but now I have a sense of obligation where I have to like kiss you. Hated it. And so my feelings would always very quickly fade, and I would get really annoyed because it would be like, I just want to be friends with you. Like I don't understand like why I have to talk to you all the time. I don't understand why I have to touch you. I don't want to kiss you. I don't want to hold your hands. Like why are you texting me so much? Get a life. Go get a job. Like do something with what are you doing all day just talking to me? Like do you have nothing else going on? Like I would think so little of them. I'd be like, and now I'm like, okay, Ali, it's been 20 minutes. Like why haven't we hugged? Um or something like that. Like I don't know. It's such a different feeling, and I don't even have words for the first time I kissed her. I felt like my whole all of my insides exploded. Like when people I've always thought everybody was lying about being in love, and I always thought people were pathetic and desperate and just like because I was always a very independent person, and I would just be like, why do you need somebody next to you? Like why can't you just go enjoy something? Why do you have to share it with somebody? Like why can't you just go through your day and like be happy and be excited and hang out with friends and do those things? Like why do you have to have somebody with you constantly, like somebody who you want to talk to constantly? Like grow up, you're pathetic, be independent. And I was wrong, turns out, extremely wrong. I and just like everything, like I thought like the sensation, the feelings of being loved, I thought everybody was being so dramatic about it. Like because again, like I'd had little crushes here and there, and so you kind of get that like, oh, ooh, feeling for a little bit. But now it's like I feel like I'm exploding every time I see her, and every time I kiss her, like I get butterflies still. And it's been 6 months. It's been like 8 months since I first kissed her. And the first time, it was funny because like we were so nervous to kiss each other for the first time, because we're friends, and like neither of us like really thought we were into girls necessarily, and it was like, oh, but like we're really good friends. Like this could be weird, but like we have these feelings, so like we should try to get into it. And there was like so much anticipation and excitement, and I kissed her, and I was like, wow, I've been wrong about so many things my entire, like this is everything. Like I feel fireworks at the same time as butterflies. Like it feels soft, but it feels explosive. Like And those feelings just haven't gone away. Like it wasn't even just like a one time. Like I don't even know how to explain it. Like it's incredible. It's beautiful. Um, I've never been happier. I've never been in love, but also I've never been more in love is what I was gonna say. Like I don't know. It's really beautiful. Um, I think I found my person, and it just felt so natural and obvious and easy, and it's been incredible, and I've never felt happier. Like, and it's crazy too. Like thinking about like again, I kind of talked about this on the Happy to Be Here episode when I got eliminated. Like all of this came from filming a silly little reality television show. Like I went on there expecting to win some money, didn't. And that's it. And having a cool experience, right? Having a cool story in my back pocket. And I came out of it having emotions, wanting to be close to people, um, and finding my soulmate. Like that's crazy. I would have never ever expected to fall in love in general, much less as a result of that show. And I feel like I'm speaking very scattered right now, but that's how my brain feels. Like I feel like I just can't settle down because I'm just so excited and so happy to talk about her because she's so amazing and so incredible. And like the fact that this came from the show is insane. It's funny too thinking back, like interviewing for the show because they would ask all the time on a lot of interviews, like, "Oh, what kind of guys are you into?" Like kind of like hint, and then it would kind of drop details about I guess people that they were interviewing for the show. And I'd be like, I'm not really into guys. Like that sounds like a nightmare. Like I do not want somebody in my home. Like I do not want a partner. Like I'm not into that. Like like I'm not looking. I don't want it. I don't want it to find me. I couldn't be more repulsed by the idea of having any sort of partner. And now I'm like it's in love, and it's incredible. Like it's so everything. Like I'm so happy. I don't even know how to explain it. Um and like to finally be able to talk about it is like so exciting. Some people on Reddit clocked it. Shout out to you guys. Um we thought that was so funny reading it. People going through our Instagram screenshotting us having matching nails. Oh, they're roommates, stuff like that. Um but yeah, like I don't know. I know I'm just rambling at this point, but that's okay. I'm so happy. So you're just going to have to get over it. Um one other thing I wanted to talk about is bisexuality in general because I don't know. I do not know what it is. Um, I thought I was straight my whole life because I was only ever like physically attracted to guys. Like I would never see a girl and be like, "Mm." To be fair, I would never make that face naturally towards a man. Also, I would never make that face naturally. But I was always somewhat attracted to guys. Never really felt anything toward girls, but I never really enjoyed dating guys. Like even when I was like a lot younger and it was just like you're in like middle school and you have a boyfriend or whatever, I would always lose feelings immediately. And I would just be confused because it'd be like we're just best friends. Like why are there all these other obligations that are now imposed on our relationship? Like I don't want to have to talk to you all day long. Even as like a 13-year-old. Like I don't want to have to talk to you all day long. I don't want to have to go on dates with you. Like I want to hang out with you, but I want to do it when I want to do it. I don't want to feel like I have to do it because you're my boyfriend. I didn't like holding hands. I didn't like kissing people. I didn't enjoy any of that. And I never like saw a girl and like wanted anything with any of them. And so I was really confused for a really long time because I had all of these friends of mine who were going crazy over guys, which is why I was like, you guys are making this up. Like this isn't real. Like I've had a boyfriend and I never felt anything like that. And so I think you're making it up. Or alternatively, what I thought for a really long time was that something was wrong with me. Like I didn't think I had the capacity to love somebody, or be in love with somebody. Um, I thought something in my brain was broken, like where I just didn't have, I wasn't just like capable of feeling those things because like I would try, like I would date some people and like just nothing. I would just get annoyed about the situation and then just be like, okay, well, I guess we gotta break up now because like now I have to hang out with you too much and that's annoying to me. Like I just want to live my life. Um, but I think it was around COVID. I was watching BoJack Horseman, and there's an episode. where Todd is asked if he's gay because he doesn't want to get with this girl who's his friend, and his answer is, I'm not gay, but I don't think I'm straight either. I think I might be nothing. And I remember hearing that line and it just like punched me in the throat because I was like, oh yeah, I think that's me. Because everybody had always assumed I was gay. Not everybody, but most people, I think, just kind of because like this is how I dress, this is how I look, and I don't know, I've never been into like stereotypical girl things. And so I think people have always just taken one look at me and assumed I was gay, and a lot of people would ask me about that, and I'd always be like, no, like I really don't think that I am, because like I'm not interested in girls, but like I'm also not really interested in guys, but I don't really know where that leaves me. I'd never heard the term asexual until I started watching BoJack, and then like I started kind of looking into that, and I was like, oh yeah, that's got to be, I got to be somewhere on that spectrum, because like this is how I feel. Like I don't like anybody, I don't want anybody, like, and it's not out of like an I hate men, I don't want a man in my life, like, and it wasn't out of anything like that. It was just like I just don't feel anything toward anybody. And then Allie and I started getting crushes on each other, and I was like, kind of like, what is this? What is this funny feeling inside of me? And then I'm not joking, we kissed one night, and I was like, oh, it turns out I'm not broken. It turns out like I can feel everything. It's always been somewhere inside of me. And maybe it's just never been the right person, or maybe I've just never been open to it. I don't know, but I think I was open to it. So I think it was just never the right person. And now I've got the right person, and like everything, I feel everything, and it feels so good. But the point of all of that is I still don't really know what my sexuality is. I'm pretty anti box. I don't feel any sense of obligation to put myself in any box with any label or anything like that. Like, I don't know if I'm lesbian. I don't know if I'm bi. I don't know if I'm anything else. Um, I joke that I'm asexual, but the A stands for Ally, but then also everything else asexual outside of Ally still applies to other people. It's not a very good joke, I'll concede that, but um, I think it's just her. I think she's my person. I know she's my person. I know she's my soulmate, because I don't. I this feels. I don't know. I just know she's my person. I don't really know. I don't really know where I was going with that or what to say, but like I don't really feel like I need to figure it out because it doesn't matter. Um, because it's her. And that's who I want to be with forever. And so don't really need to figure out which box to put myself into because I'm happy and excited. But the point to all that is just I don't really know. I feel like that is probably going to come up at some point. I feel like people are probably going to ask me. I feel like we've told a couple people and they've been like, wait, you didn't, to me, like, oh, you didn't know? Like, I'm kind of surprised about you, Allie, but like, Mac, you really didn't know? No, I really didn't know. I really didn't know. And again, I've been confronted with it 100,000 times. Everybody's always asked me if I'm gay, and like, so I've been forced to think about it, and like I think through my whole life, and like nothing. I don't know. Anyway, I'm rambling now, but I just wanted to bring that up because I figured somebody eventually would ask. And yeah, I have no idea, but I also don't care at all because it doesn't matter to me. Um, I like Allie. I love Allie, and that's really all that I feel like I need to know. Um, in terms of label, who cares? I'm Allie's girlfriend. That's my label. But that was my big exciting news. I'm so excited about it. And gosh, guys, I'm just so happy. I know I'm rambling. This has been such a rambly episode, but I like literally I can't think straight. I've been so excited to like talk about, like, I love showing her off to my friends. Be like, look how like I've scored. I won. Like, she's so smart and funny and nice and like just everything. Like, I love coming home to having somebody in my house as long as that person is her. Like, it's everything in my life has changed, and I'm so grateful and I'm so happy. Um, Grateful to her, grateful for the show bringing us together. Like, it's great. Who would have thought? Who would have thought a reality television show that's not a dating show would bring me to a place where I would fall in love? Pretty crazy. But I'm really happy. I think I probably said that 15,000 times, but get over it. Um, I think I probably got to end this episode because now I'm just rambling. But I think I've rambled probably enough for this episode. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. That's so nice. Please subscribe and comment and like and do all kinds of things. If you have any questions, as usual, put them in the comments. I'm super happy to answer them. We've got 2 more episodes left of Destination X. I don't think I have any other major news. But the other Happy to Be Here episodes will really be great. I promise you. I have no idea what's going to happen in them, so it really is going to be like, I have no idea. I actually have no idea how they're going to be, but I'm sure they'll be great, and I can't wait to talk about them with you guys. But also be thinking, because I want Happy to Be Here to continue after the show. So if there's anything you guys want me, because I'll still be talking. I've got plenty of things to say. I've got lots to say. But if there's anything specific you want me to talk about or whatever, like any whatever's, let me know. Because I'll be happy to get into that. Like moving forward, like what do you want this to be? I can make it whatever. I have some ideas, but would love to hear some feedback. Um, but yeah, thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe. Yeah.